Hello and welcome back to the Villa Filler podcast. I'm here as always with my good friend, Dan Wiseman. Dan, Robin Olsen has signed for Aston Villa for €3.5 million. I shouldn't be as excited as I sound, but it's another signing, mate. It's what we're here to do. We're here to discuss these things. What are your thoughts on this one, mate?
Mate, it is so on brand for the Villa Filler to rep these players that no one else cares about. This is the Keenan Davis Filler. This is the Corny Horse Filler. This is the Robin Olsen Filler, man. All those players that you guys don't like, we're here banging the drum, riding the hype train. I'm happy with this one, mate. We spoke about the guy, it's going back a little while now, but in the back end of the Man City podcast, we put our feelings out and we backed Robin Olsen, and we said that he's got a bit of a hard rep, and I've been doing some research, mate, and everything like that, and I'm here to express my delight over this signing. I think this is a good move.
I think so too, and again, for the fee, €3.5 million from Roma, it's I've gone all echoey there. Sorry, €3.5 million. What more can you get for that price, right? Okay, I know, and it's a really astute signing, I think, because you look at the business that we've already got done, mate. Kamara's free. At the time of recording, we're unsure. It looks like Tarkowski could be coming in on a free transfer. Coutinho's been done for 17 million. So I don't want to say we're nickel and diming, because I think that would has kind of a negative connotation towards it, mate. But to be getting in the players that we are for a net spend of just over 20 mil, that's incredible, isn't it?
Oh, 100%, mate. 100%. And I think he's a fantastic option to have as a backup goalkeeper. As I said on that podcast, we sort of ran through his accolades. He's played all across Europe. He's played in Italy with Cagliari and with Roma. He's played in Denmark with Copenhagen. He's played at Malmo, PAOK in Greece. Obviously Everton, Sheffield United. He's played at some really big clubs. He was signed to Roma to be the replacement for Alisson. He was a Monchi signing. He operates mainly from Sevilla, but he hopped over to Roma for a couple of years, and he's a sporting director that really specialises in picking out bargains. And I don't think he was quite Alisson levels. I think that Monchi was perhaps steeping too low, but that's how good this guy. This guy is a very seasoned international player. 56 international caps for Sweden. He represented them at all games at the 2018 World Cup. He was in between the sticks for Sweden. He played in the game in which they were eliminated by England in the quarters. He also played for Sweden in 2016 after old keeper Isaacson got injured. He became the first choice goalkeeper at that tournament. So he's very seasoned on the international stage. 2 Danish leagues, 2 Danish cups, 4 times Swedish goalkeeper of the year, all on the bounce from 2016 to 2019. 2 Swedish league titles, 1 Swedish cup. Mate, I'm all for you. That's a very solid resume to have sitting as your number 2.
For sure. And it's nice to see as well, obviously after the kind of incident that happened, just how the footballing world banded around Robin Olsen. If you look at his Instagram, obviously you've got a load of Villa players in the replies, but national teammates Pontus Jansson, Emil Forsberg, even John Guidetti. Remember him, mate? That's a bit of a throwback now.
Throwback, yes.
Manchester City wonder kid back in the day. But these signings, it's hard to complain about these signings. They're not the sexiest. We know they're not going to get bums off seats like Coutinho and like Kamara. And hopefully other players that we're going to sign, throughout the duration of the summer, mate. But and again, I think we mentioned this quite a few times, over the history of the podcast, really, about how important it is for the club to be signing not only the right player but the right person. And I think with goalkeepers, mate, Robin will have came in on his loan knowing that he was never going to supersede Emmy, or not immediately anyway, but he's patiently waited in his wing and bided his time and finally got to make his debut for the Villa and showed a fantastic attitude. And you can't scoff at that, mate, in my opinion, can you? Like, I know like the Emmy situation's a bit, I don't know how I feel about him, mate, because he wants to be fit for the Finalismo at Wembley in a few weeks' time, which part of me understands, but there's also the kind of argument, well, you should want to play for Aston Villa, but, you know, should the situation arise where Emmy isn't available, as I said on the other podcast, mate, I didn't think Robin Olsen had a particularly bad game, to be honest. You know, he conceded 3 goals, but I felt and I still feel that Emmy probably concedes those exact same 3 goals, especially with the season that he's had, just last season, mate.
Yeah, 100%. I think that situation, which you're right, did raise a few eyebrows, and I sort of questioned it as well, mate. And I think it's, I sort of let it slide based on the fact I think it was so dependent on the situation. I think because Olsen's deal was initially that 6-month loan, I think it wouldn't have been great for him to leave without having played a game. Do you know what I mean? Like, ultimately, you want to give him the chance to go out there at least once and sort of, because as I said, he's shown a fantastic attitude. He's come in, seems to be very committed to the club. He seems to have really impressed Cuts and the rest of the goalkeeping team. And so based on that, you sort of want to give him the ability to go out and show what ultimately he can do in game. It's like, yeah, okay, he's done fantastic on the training pitch, but Robin Olsen will be the first one to tell you that that's not where he wants to impress. He wants to impress on the pitch. And so with Emmy having that game, which ultimately didn't mean too much for the club. And as you said, I think realistically, we were expecting to lose anyway. Had that been a home game against a side in and around us that perhaps we could have gone on to beat, maybe it's a bit different. But in a game that and I do hate to say this, but a free hit with a player that would have been leaving on loan that hadn't played for a game, and Emmy with this Finalismo coming up, I think it was one of those where you sort of go, oh, okay, I get it. It wouldn't happen on match week 19. It only happens on match week 38. So yeah, but as you said, I thought that I said at the time that I felt like the sort of narrative around Robin Olsen was a bit strange. I don't think we truly appreciate just how experienced a keeper he is, just how adaptable he is to coming in at these games and standing up to a test and everything like that. And yeah, I felt that, I went away and did some digging sort of into the best backup, like other backup goalkeepers basically in the Premier League, and looking at where we sort of stand in all that. And I honestly would be hard pushed to sort of find maybe, I don't know, 6 or I would comfortably put him easily within the top 10 backup goalkeepers in the league, pushing towards top 5, because you sort of go, okay, at the top clubs you've got the like of Kepa and Dean Henderson and those kind of guys who are obviously very good players. Even you sort of got West Ham with like Alphonse Areola, and you sort of Arsenal have got Bernd Leno. But then you sort of look at, okay, like let's go outside of that. Like Liverpool are playing with Kovin Kelleher or Adrian, and you sort of think, okay, well, he's got a better resume than both of those guys. You sort of go down to like Spurs with Pierluigi Collini, who obviously an ex-Villa player, and we know how shaky he can be at times. And then as you sort of trickle down the league, you sort of go, yeah, he's probably better than him, and yeah, as the further down you go, the more you sort of think, okay, like this is actually a lot better than I think we're giving ourselves credit for, to be honest with you. Like you sort of go down to like your Newcastles with like Freddie Woodman and Carl Darlow, and you think, yeah, definitely better than both of those guys. Yeah. You go down to like Southampton with Fraser Forster and stuff like that. He's a decent option, but Asian, and you sort of go, actually, like this is pretty good. We can't complain with this too much. And I think that's why I got a little bit frustrated on the last day of the season, like sort of talking like as he was like some geezer we'd whacked out the the King's arms and stuck him in goal. But this guy's really good. And I think he stands up to the rest of the league really well.
Yeah, for sure, man. And like Sweden's number 1, and obviously as well, the other day Villa kind of did a international villains roundup post. A good look. Obviously, we've got the Nations League coming up, and then the Finalismo for Argentina, and a few things like that. And obviously, Robin naturally was included in this post, so it was almost hinted at before it even happened. But again, it'd be not. I know we saw Neil Cutler. He went out for the last round of international fixtures to watch Robin, which it must be nice for him, because I bet he can't really afford the time or the expenses really to fly to Argentina to watch Emi every international break or wherever he's playing in South America. I'm not sure Purslo's expensing that. But to see him get to go to Norway, see his goalkeeper in action, that's great. So I don't really know what else to say on this, mate. Robin Olsen, not the most exciting name that will come through the door this summer, but certainly a player that I think, will prove his worth over the duration of his contract.
Yeah, 100%, mate, 100%. I think, yes, for the moment, he's 32, which is a decent age for a goalkeeper. It's not the longest contract in the world. And it gives us enough time because for all the amazing work we've been doing with the academy, we haven't really had a keeper come through yet.
No.
That's the sort of, there's been a lot of names banded about through the years, like Matthias Sarkic, and obviously, he's left. I think he's at Blues now, right? Is he at Blues?
He's at Wolves. He was at Blues on loan, but I think he had an injury that quit his spell short.
And I saw we released Akadionos the other day as well. Obviously, we've got guys like Sinsalo coming through, but for the moment, there's no real none of them are building up a lot of hype as to a potential future between the sticks for the Villa. So whilst we're still going through that, I think it makes sense to have an experienced name, and hopefully in the future, by the time this contract comes to an end, we might be in a position to put one of the younger lads into that backup spot. But for now, I'm very happy with this, mate.
Absolutely. So guys, let us know your thoughts on this transfer in the comment section down below. And if you're listening to this and you're not subscribed, make sure you do so by clicking the subscribe button down below. Make sure you hit the bell icon as well so you never miss an upload from Dan and I. And thank you guys for all your support, and up the Villa.